All right, so for those of you that don't know, we have Sarah, who is a full-time coach. She's a full-time diving coach. She's a Success Club 10 All-Star guy, so that means that she's hit Success Club 10 12 months in a row, which is huge. And she is the CEO and founder of the Phoenix Movement. And guys, this girl literally makes hitting Success Club look easy. I feel like I've just like watched her journey from like the get-go. And I literally saw her like going from like hitting like Success Club 6, and then like one day all of a sudden she was like SC18, like freaking beginning of the month, like a freaking boss. So I couldn't think of anyone better to talk to us tonight about how to hit your goals by building your brand. She has some awesome energy, and I'm just so excited that you guys get to hear from her tonight. It is 8 o'clock, so I will go on ahead and mute myself, and I will pass the torch over to Sarah.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Thumbs up. We good? Brianne, make sure you mute yourself, girl. Please and thank you. Or I don't know if there's, oh well, I'll just start talking if you know how to mute everyone, or I don't know if I do it. Okay, so hi, I've got my notes here, so I'm super organized because my mom brain nowadays just likes to take all these bunny trails. I'm going to try to stay on topic, but so my name is Sarah Spickler. Hi, for those of you who don't know me or are just meeting me for the first time. So I figured I would start with a little bit of my story and my background and what brought me to coaching. So I kind of get really deep pretty fast because this was 13 years of my life, and 13 years of your life is a really long freaking time. So I experienced 13 years of sexual abuse from 5 as young as I can remember all the way up until I turned 18. And it really set me up for a lot of what back then seemed like negative things. And now that I can see today that it has just completely transformed me and turned me into the person that I was supposed to be today. So I can see that now, but in going through all of that and just experiencing all that, I was in a really freaking negative headspace. And it was just not a good place to be in when you're a young adult and you're still trying to find yourself and figure things out. And it just brought a lot of negative body shame and really bad relationships and just finding love in all the wrong places and all the wrong substances and drinking and just really trying to drown out my sorrows or deal with my problems the only way that I knew how at that point in my life. So fast forward, go to college, meet my amazing husband. We've been married now almost 7 years, have a little 1.5-year-old, Aggie Sue. Just put her down for bed. And life is amazing now. But my first year into marriage, I grew up not working out ever. I was like string bean girl. I could eat Taco Bell, I could eat McDonald's, and I was like still looking good in the mirror. And so I never considered playing sports or anything like that. I thrived off of really good grades. I thrived off of being in band and choir and drama. Like that was me. I was completely like the music nerd and I loved it, but that's where I thrived and that's where I found my happiness. So for those of you who know about the Enneagram, I'm a 7. So I'm all about the joy and the happiness and the fun. So if something's going to make me happy, I'm just sticking with that. I'm not going to do anything else outside of my comfort zone because I know that makes me happy. That's what I'm going to do. And so when I started to gain weight, it was really humbling. I just remember looking in the mirror. All I can remember is like looking in my bathroom mirror. I remember exactly like the day. And I just like felt like crap. I didn't have like, I had like a sports bra and underwear on. And I was just like, I feel disgusting right now. Like I feel embarrassed. Like I was just like, I don't want to get undressed in front of my husband. And like, you're not supposed to feel that way when you're married and in a healthy relationship. And I was like, something's got to give. So I tried a bunch of free things. I did Tone It Up, Lauren Gleisberg, and BBG for a little bit. And it's not that I didn't learn things, and it's not that I didn't get results, because I did get some really great results. And I did start to learn things, and that's what really piqued my interest with health and fitness. I was just like, I kind of really like this, but I didn't know where I would go with it. My degree was in early childhood, so kind of very limited there. I was like, well, I can do one thing. And I chose to go into it because it was easy. And when my mom became a single mom, I didn't have the funds to go off to college. So I stayed at home for the most part in like a local community college. And I was like, well, this is going to be easy. I'll get an early childhood degree. I love kids. It's going to be my life's passion. It's going to be great. Um, and any teachers on here, I don't care what age you teach, teaching is exhausting. It is freaking exhausting. And just coming home, not feeling fulfilled, and I'm gaining weight and trying to just find myself. And I just felt like I had just always done the thing that was comfortable for me and brought the joy the fastest. And I was finally trying to break out of that. And so when I saw my now mentor, Jamie, I just really fell in love with her life. I fell in love with the lifestyle that she had. I knew one day I wanted to be a stay-at-home mommy and that I was loving fitness, but I was just like, I don't have money to go back to college. So I don't know what the heck I'm going to do, but her life looks pretty amazing. So she reached out to me. I told her no for a whole year. Like, you guys know the drill. We all told our uplines like no for 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it is, out of fear, just out of fear. I didn't want to get uncomfortable, and I didn't know if this was going to be my joy because I already knew how to find my quick joy. So I didn't know if this was going to make anything better. And one day at lunch, I literally sat down in my car and freaking bawled. I was exhausted. I hated where I worked. I didn't like who I worked for. And so I was like, well, enough is enough. So I signed up, didn't tell Tyler. And I was like, surprise, just charged $180 to our credit card. And he was like, okay, so now what? I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to learn. So let's do this. So anyways, 3.5 years later, I'm here, freaking love what I do, healthy, happy mama. And I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. So for those of you who have gone through the ringer and have experienced abuse, I feel you. And I think that's just a huge part of our story, to just use it and share it and bring those people in who need that positivity and support from us. So, okay, I split this into 2 parts. So I'm going to build my brand over the last couple of years. It's kind of changed a few times, but I did 3 bullet points for each, so you can kind of keep it organized and concise. So if you're a note taker, I hope everyone has a notebook, so because I'm going. All right, so in terms of building my brand over the year, number 1, I just think it's so important to focus on the phase of life that you are in and just go so hard and consistent with that. Are you a mom? Are you a wife? Are you a student in college still? What's your job? Are you a nurse? Do you work at Taco Bell? Do you work at Starbucks? Like, whatever that is, you need to be sharing that every single day. I see plenty of coaches out there and their feed is just fitness, and you guys, people, it's not relatable. It's great. And sometimes I get lost in it and I'm like, okay, few too many like flexy pictures. Like, I got to bring it back. Like, who are my people? Who am I talking to? I'm talking to me, and I'm a mom. So that's the people I am talking to. Which beforehand I was a teacher. So I would post pictures on like if I was eating lunch in like the room, if I was in my shirt, because we had uniforms that we had to wear. So I was constantly talking about being a teacher and how I loved it, but how I was tired, and, you know, talking about how I was doing coaching on the side and how much joy it was bringing me, sharing that every single day. Reading my notes. And my girls sometimes are like, well, like, I'm afraid to get really specific on my person because then that's just going to cut me off from everyone else. Yeah, but here's the thing. You have to have a target market. You can't be talking to everyone or you're talking to no one. And it's so true, because I did this like the first whole year in my business. My business went like nowhere my first year because it was a learning experience. I was still growing, still trying to figure out what worked for me. And I was literally just like throwing my reel out into the ocean. I was like, any women who want to join me? Let's do this thing together. And I was signing on coaches just to sign coaches. You guys, so many of them, I can't even count. And I remember crying so many times. It was so silly. Just signing up a coach, then she ghosts me the next morning or freaking quits. And it was the worst feeling in the whole entire world. And I blamed so much of that on myself. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Blah, blah, blah. She just wasn't my person, you guys. So you have to always be talking to your person so that they're coming to you, they're on your page. And so when you go to connect with them, it's just natural to have a conversation with them. And that doesn't mean you're not going to connect with other people outside of your target market. Because I focus on moms. I say moms, mamas, mommies all the time. And I'm like, it's fine. That's who I'm after. 98% of people that I sign up with Success Club points are moms. Can you guys still hear me? Says my internet connection's bad. Are we still good? Okay. So that's 99% of my market now. So I'm going to have women that follow me that aren't mommies. That mean I'm not going to reach out to them when I go look through my followers and send, thank you messages. No, I still have girls that sign up with me. I have a few girls that offer a solution. People want to see that you fall, but that you fall and get back up, because that's relatable. I used to just post a highlight reel, and that it didn't get me anywhere because people can't relate to that. Because most of the time people aren't going to start where you're at now. Like they're at chapter 1, like chapter 0, like the intro of the book. They can't relate to that, constant transformation picture or flexing your bicep looks great and all those things. Every single day I try to present something that I'm struggling with, or something that maybe wasn't going great, but this is what I'm going to do. I woke up the other morning. I did not want to get on my stories. I was in such a bad freaking mood, and I was just like, I'm just going to do my workout. I'm not going to do my tip of the day, because that's something I committed to do this year, was wake up, give a tip of the day, provide value to the people who are watching me I have people that get up and they might be laying in bed, but they're watching my story at 7 o'clock in the morning. So, something I can offer to them, that's going to get, their day going, get their brain thinking. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing my stupid tip of the day. I was like, I'm in a crap mood. I was like, I'm not going to show up. And I was like, no, this is when I need to show up. And I need to tell them, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed and I'm riding the struggle bus. But here's what I'm going to do to turn that around and walk the other way. People need to hear those things, because life is rough, life is tough, and we don't live in a highlight reel. So I really think just being transparent, share your stretch marks, share your belly, share your legs, share your feelings, share your emotions. I just think the more that we can pour into our people, and the more that we can just lift the veil and stop pretending like we're having a great day on maybe the worst day of the month, show them you're a freaking human being, you guys. But then offer them a solution. So they're getting to know you. They see that you're falling and failing, but you're failing forward. You're not giving up. That's been huge for me. I've had so many women reach out to me just this past year from just being more real, and them being like, I needed to hear this today. I am struggling too. I even had a mommy yesterday message me and say, thank you for sharing this. I was feeling the same way. We're in this, girl. She's not even a client of mine. She's not even a coach of mine yet, but she's connecting with me because she's freaking struggling too. But I sent that positivity out after I was really real and raw. And I know it's easier said than done, you guys, because I used to feel like sharing my transparency was weak, and it didn't make me look like a good coach because I was having a bad day and it was really hard to put a smile on my face. But that's not the case, you guys. As long as you're showing them the solution out of that, it's okay. You don't have to be a robot. Please don't. Okay. Number 3, consistently be the person you needed before you started coaching. That's the person you should be talking to every day. I think it's really important sometimes to sit down with a pad of paper and rewrite your story. Take time to be quiet and say, oh, because it's hard when you get into coaching, we're reading personal development every day, we're growing, we're feeling so much better. It's really, really hard to take those steps back and be like, when I woke up in the morning before coaching, what did I do? What was I thinking? What was my life like? And I think we forget that. So sometimes taking a step back and rewriting your story out again so that you can use that story to make posts, to talk to that person that was you before coaching. I have to do that all the time. Again, 7, I block out all the pain. And it's just natural for my brain to just block out trauma or anything that's not happy. I literally have the worst memory. Pros and cons to both of that, but rewriting it and then sharing bits and pieces of that every single day so people can see that, because that's what you needed to see. That's what you needed to hear before you started coaching. Like when I would go look at Jamie's stuff, and just talking about how she struggled with her jobs and working and like she wasn't fulfilled, and how she was so glad she got to be at home with her kid. And I was like, that needs to be me. Like I worked in preschool. It's not that I don't think bad things about preschools at all, but I want to be the one raising my baby. So I was just like, I need to do this. And that's what I saw in her. And now that's what I am trying to show people in turn now. And this is a quote from Steve Ennis. He actually did a training for us, and it was on a totally different topic, but he said this and it stuck, and it's tough love, but I love it. He said, people are not going to trust you if you don't show up and you have no credibility. Mic drop, boom, nothing. So people need to see that person that they're, hold on, rewind. We're all jumbled. So showing up as that person that you needed and doing it consistently. You can't be wishy-washy. You can't post one day and then wait for 2 to post again. You can't post 2 stories in a day, you guys, and then like not show up the next day. I was having a conversation with one of my girls a few days ago, and I said, would you have joined me, if you saw me 6 months ago, not showing up every day, not getting transformations, not getting up early and getting my workout in, like not being a super happy, just positive person, not being real? Like, would you have wanted me to be your coach? Answer is no, because I would not have wanted me to be my coach. Like people have to see you show up consistently. And if you're not, they're not going to trust you. You guys, that's just natural. They're not going to get to know you if you don't show up. You have to do it consistently. And that's just like some tough, real love. It's the truth. And then let's see, hold on. I have some little writing. Oh, your excuses should always be turned into your why. So always talking about excuses in your stories or in a post. Like don't be afraid to outwardly talk about objections, you guys, because you're going to get so many messages about money and about time and about, I don't know, whatever else. So talking about how, the excuses, like mine was money. I was like $180. Like I can't spend that on health and fitness program. But I talk all the time about, I could easily drop $200 at Ulta. It's disgusting, but I did it. Whatever. But I'm serious. But I was like, you guys, I was dropping money at Target, $150, easy. $200 at Target, easy. And back then, I don't know how much I spent at Starbucks. I don't want to know. A lot. So I talk about that all the time. I'm like, you guys made the dumbest excuses. And I even say it in my stories, because Jamie told me at one point, like, because I made that excuse about money for a long time. And she's like, are you able to set $20 aside each week? And I was like, you know what? Like, I think I can do that. How about don't get Starbucks this week, Sarah? Like, it's doable. So show people how you turned those silly, ridiculous excuses into your why and how you turn that around. And again, giving them a solution to probably something they're thinking about or an objection that they are having at this current time. And just talking about how obviously coaching has a solution for every single one of those excuses that they've made. And again, that's you consistently showing up as the person that you needed to see before you started coaching. Okay. So that's all I have for brands. Transitioning. Okay. All about hitting Success Club early, you guys. And this took time. I heard so many girls. I would watch Amy Rada and who else was up there? Like Sammy. And I'm like, JC, how in the freak are they doing this? And I was like, whatever. They've just been in this forever. And like, guys, this is like embarrassing admitting this. I was just so bitter. I was so bitter. I was like, I'm showing up, like, what am I doing wrong? And what it came down to was organization and strategy. And it was on me. Like, I was just like hating on them. But now, you guys, I flipped that. And I'm like, they're crushing it, like it's time to freaking change more lives, get my name on that board, and so that I can focus on then building my team. So, all right, my number 3 things that I have for hitting Success Club early. Number 1, create a sense of urgency in yourself. Tyler always makes fun of me. He's like, you're just like so on edge about this. And I'm like, it's not that like I'm on edge, like it's go time. Like the first of the month, you guys, I treat it like it's the last week of the month. Like it's the 27th through the 31st, or that's not 7 days, whatever those last 7 days are. And I'm like, you need to freaking run. That's what I tell myself. And it works. It just works. It works every single month, you guys. I've been doing this since I really took off with Success Club right after I had Aggie. And I just knew I needed time to grow my team the rest of the month. So I was just like, I'm not playing around. Like, I just tell myself, like, it's the last of the month. Like, it's not the first of the month. Like, you have until like the 10th to hit the 10th. And I just tell myself, go. And it's just a deciding thing. But that's personally worked for me. Sorry, I'm reading through my notes. And at the end of the day, you can't force someone to sign up, but you can control the effort that you put in. So the amount of effort you put in at the beginning of that month, you guys, it's going to show at the end. I hated scrambling at the end of the month. My first year of coaching, the very first month I didn't hit, July, August, September, October. So my 4th month into coaching, I was at a Halloween party and I was at Success Club 4. And I kid you not, I was on my phone. And Tyler was like, what are you doing? I was like, I have to hit Success Club, blah, 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 like this. Like, and I didn't. And it felt like shit. It did. But I was like, you know what? I had to take a step back and I was just like, you didn't put in the work. You didn't hustle at the beginning of the month. And I hated that feeling. And I don't want any of you guys to experience that either, because it's the worst feeling ever. It's frustrating. But you also know why. You're not sending the invites. You're not doing the follow-ups, which is my next thing. You're not putting time into your business. If you're not hitting Success Club, you guys, you're not doing the things. You're not doing the vital behaviors. That's all it is. Just take it back. Print out that business activity tracker if you don't have it. And you have to do it every single day, whether you're happy or sad or tired or super awake, or you have to take your daughter to practice or whatever it is. Freaking fold that sheet. I don't know if Meg's on this call, my girl. She was at work one day. She had her tracker like folded up in her purse and she messaged me. She's like, hey girl, got my tracker. Gonna do this while I'm on break. And I was like, boss, that's what you do. You don't leave it to chance, the things that you didn't check off. You freaking bring your tracker with you and you get it done. And there's not an overwhelming amount of things on that tracker. It's like the bare minimum. And it's things that are going to grow your business. So if you don't have that printed out or some kind of tracker, I don't care what kind of tracker it is, as long as you're hitting all the marks, do that. But creating that sense of urgency and just literally visualizing in your head, I've got 7 days left to hit Success Club. Like, let's go. And I don't always hit Success Club in those 7 days. I'm not at Success Club yet. I will be this weekend because I'm pushing. But just having, that mental thought process of, I got to freaking go. And then leading into my next thing. So what that means to me is following up like a freaking boss. Follow the heck up. That is how I hit Success Club so early, you guys. I follow up like a crazy person. I probably annoy people, but if you guys watch that call by Kate, she's like, I probably annoy people. Maybe I do too. Don't really care. You can block me if I annoy you that much, but I'm here to change lives. So come join me or ignore me, whatever. But what I love doing, so here is my favorite thing to go to, because my first year when I was following the tracker or doing a power hour, I was wasting so much time looking for people to actually follow up with. I was like, where do I even start? Well, who did I talk to? I should have been writing this down. I love Instagram messages. It is my jam. I love it. It's my home. So what I do every time I talk to someone during the month who's interested, or like we've talked about it, there's a little flag. You can tap the flag on your message. Like you can flag that person. So at the beginning of the month, when I'm like, okay, I got to freaking follow the heck up, let's go, I just go to my Instagram messages and you can literally, I wish I could show you. Maybe I can. Hold on. I don't know if my phone's going to blur, but if you go to your messages and up in the search bar, you probably can't. No, it's bad. Okay. Just go to your search bar, and at the very, very end, there's like the lines with the 3 little dots. And if you tap them, it says inbox, unread, and flagged. I go right to the flagged, and I just start messaging people. And I make sure the message is different. Like, don't copy and paste the same message you like sent them a week before or a month before or whatever. But that is where I get like 99% of my success club points. It's from girls that I follow up with because the time wasn't right, or they didn't see my message. So many times girls don't see my messages, especially because they're moms and they look at their messages late at night and they're half awake or early in the morning. And they're like, oh my gosh, like I literally didn't even see this. Like it's been weeks since I sent it. Or they're like, I saw this, but I totally forgot to respond. So thank you for following up. And I'm like, no problem. Like, are you ready? So that's a big part of what I do, is just reaching back out to those girls that I followed up with. Or my girls that if you go into your coach online office, you can see whose subscription is running up. Have them just transition to a challenge pack. Like I am always running 2 boot camps. I have one that's ongoing. Anyone that has Beachbody on Demand is in there. So it's been a group I've been growing for like the whole past year. And then I do like an exclusive group that I've been running with my other girls. And I require either a bag of Shakeology or the performance line. At least 50 PV to be in that group. So if I have girls, their subscription is coming up, I'm like, girl, if your subscription is going to be up this month, like just transition to a challenge pack. You can be in my exclusive group. We're doing weekly meal plans and you're going to save like, so if they got, say they were just going to get like a completion pack to be in your group, it's already $130. And then you're going to pay $99 more for Beachbody on Demand. I mean, that's great commission for me, but why not get them switched over, get them a better deal, get Success Club points. So I'm always looking in my online office to see whose subscription is coming up. And then number 3, mapping out your month. I did not do this for the longest time. It's huge. It just saves a headache when you know exactly what you're inviting to, exactly what you're talking about, and strategically putting things at a certain point in the month. So everyone does it different. I'm just going to tell you how I do it, and that's worked really well for me. So number 1, have specific dates. You need to be sharing these dates in your stories, starting dates and deadlines. That creates a sense of urgency too. So enrollment starts Sunday, 11 p.m. midnight, whatever that is. Like create that sense of urgency and like, oh, like I've got 7 days to decide this. So I better figure it out. Instead of just saying you're starting this group and you're starting soon and it's really cool. Like, no, be specific because it sounds professional. You're giving them specific dates and they know exactly when they have to sign up between. So I've really been liking running a free group at the beginning of the month. That way at the end of the month, I'm inviting to that. I'm getting girls added in so that first whole week of the month, like what I do for my free groups is doing the free 14-day trial, or I pull like workouts from YouTube. I've done it both ways and it's worked great. Like I'll do like mini workouts that Sean T's done or Autumn's done. Giving them a weekly meal plan, doing check-ins. So I'm literally giving them that mini sneak peek into the boot camp. So that by the end of the group, when we're wrapping it up and I'm going back and talking to them, for the last time being like, hey, so I would love to know like what your favorite part of the group was. Like, what did you really enjoy? Is this something you'd want to continue doing? And then that gives you that open door to then, I like to run my challenge group starting the second week of the month because it gives me that time to do that free group. And it gives me time for maybe girls who are interested at the end of the month instead of starting the very first Monday of the month, because then a lot of girls are like, oh, because I've done it this way before. I started at the first Monday of the month and they're like, oh, you already started. I'm late to the game. Well, I don't want to join late. And like I said, everyone does this differently. And this is just what has worked for me. But I love having that week to still invite people to get those free girls interested. And then boom, second Monday of the month, my boot camp has started. And that's given me time to really follow up too. I try to follow up with at least 50 people a day at the beginning of the month and do at least 20 to 30 invites. That's my system. It's just my non-negotiable at the beginning of the month. That's what I do. And then coach sneak peeks weekly, every single week, because then after I hit Success Club from doing all of these things, I can take a deep breath and be like, okay, it's time to recruit like a boss now. Like it's time to like build your team, and you can really focus in on that. And like, that's the really amazing part of this business. I mean, changing lives is amazing, but building your team, it's just like a whole another form of fulfillment. And, you're growing your weekly bonus. There's just so many positives and amazing things that come with that. And like, that's why we all joined, was to change lives. But freaking build a legacy and build a business of your people. So when you hit this right away, then you get to do that. Then it's like, all right, it's kind of like gloves are off, like, let's go find my people, like my girls. And I love that, because then the stress is gone. And that for me, at least, I feel like the stress is gone. I'm like, okay, I've hit my non-negotiable. I'm not going to stop, but now I get to transition to something that I love, like, even more. So, okay, that's what I have. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast.
Oh my goodness. That was so good. I literally just took like a ridiculous amount of notes on like the back of one piece of paper and have like 20 other Post-its. It's on my list to go buy new notebooks at Target this week. But I'm gonna open it up for questions.
Oh yes, please. I didn't even look at the chat because I get way too distracted.
I don't see any questions.
Also is dangerous.
I do know one of my coaches messaged me and she was like, I love this girl. She was my kind of person.
Oh,
yeah, no, you freaking killed it. I had a question actually. So when you do those follow-ups, do you just do those follow-ups like for the first week of the month, and then you transition from the follow-ups the first week to then like 30 invites a day after week 1?
I guess sometimes when I say follow-up, I sometimes the follow-up and the invite are intertwined for me.
Okay.
I mean, I don't ever stop inviting. So when I guess when I do say follow-up, I'm talking about inviting, because I've already, those people that are flagged, they've been interested and I've already invited them. So I guess the follow-up is follow-up/invite. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're just inviting them again, essentially.
Yes, basically. Yeah.
Katie said, that was so good. What does your typical invite look like?
Ooh, let me see. Let's go to my flagged messages that lots of people have ignored. That's okay. Whatever. Okay, so I've been talking to a lot of mommies because we just started my mom group, like all for moms, my people. So I messaged someone and I said, hi, Jenny. I was like, I know you were looking to join me a few months back. Maybe the time wasn't right and it's totally fine. But this month, for anyone that signs up with their bundle, hold on. Oh, they're giving away free pumpkin spice superfoods, literally over $7. It's freaking amazing. So I'm obviously spreading the word like wildfire. I said, I'd love you to join in for my mommy boot camp starting super freaking soon. If you're interested, let me know. If not, it's all good. And I have like hearts and like, I like to use emojis and stuff. So
I love it. I'm a 3 and you're a 7, so I know that like we're really close on the Enneagram. We have a lot of similarities. But that sounds exactly like a follow-up/invite that I would do, because it's like, I also type how I speak, you know?
Yep.
So, like, there's like words that are capitalized. I love that. And now I think one of my ladies asked me this earlier this week, and I feel like you'd be the perfect person to answer this. What is the perfect personal development or tip that you would give someone that maybe is inviting or doing connects and consistently showing up but isn't seeing the results? Like, do you have a personal development or maybe a different way to go about inviting or connecting with them?
So they're doing the work, but they're not seeing the results?
Yes. I mean, I obviously always stem everything back to belief, but I feel like you kind of nailed it with how you do your invites. Like, be you, like, use excitement type of thing.
Yeah, I used to be really, really worried about my verbiage, and like I would see other coaches' invites and like, oh, I'm just going to copy and paste that. It did not work for me at all. Like, I love using the word like freaking and legit. Like, I sound like I'm a teenager, and it's totally fine because that's how I post. That's how I talk in my stories. So when I'm going to invite someone, I want it to sound exactly like me. I misspell a lot of words all the time. So, you know, that's people know that because I do it in my stories too and in my posts. And Tyler's like, you gotta fix that. I'm like, whatever, it's just me. But personal development, like a specific book?
Yeah, like to maybe give people more confidence with inviting, or, you know, because I feel like that's the thing too, is like a lot of new coaches, when they don't see the return, then all of a sudden their confidence starts to go down. And I feel like you're a freaking boss, and I'm so excited to implement all of your tips.
Hold on. I have 3 here that I'm really liking. right now. So I guess the 10X rule, I love that book. And that book had taught me the urgency of like, okay, if this isn't working, like, yeah, you need to like change it, but then you need to like 10X your efforts. Like you have to, if you want to build a massive business, just keep failing, you guys. You're going to fail a million freaking times. I cannot tell you how many things I've done that have not worked at all. And I'm like, well, cross that one off the list, on to the next. But something really, really fast, and this is just put me in the right mindset before I do invites or I do follow-ups, is You Are a Badass Every Day. They're like a page to 2 pages long. And I loved her book, You Are a Badass. It was the very first book I ever read, and the whole thing's like highlighted just because she's super like upbeat, and that's me. I love it. Like she's just full of joy and like, oh, let's go. And like, you're amazing. And I'm like, yes, I am. Let's do this. And I love listening to music now. Like during our power hours as a team, I'm always like jamming out, but that really puts me in the right mindset too. Like make a playlist that you love. Like for real, I've heard so many people say it and I was like, that's not going to help, but it really does. It just kind of like either like one that mellows you out or one that's like freaking like rap, whatever your funk is and you like. Another thing, oh, Aggie wrote on this. Thanks. Another book I love is, and I just started reading this, I'm almost done, is The Road Back to You.
Yes.
I ask people all the time, because it's a conversation starter. What's your Enneagram? Do you know what that is? Actually, I don't. Here, like, let me send this to you. If you love taking fun quizzes, you're going to love this. And I thought this was the dumbest thing, you guys. I did. I was like, oh, everyone knows their number. I was like, cool, like, good for you. I don't want to take another test. And even Tyler has said, and if my husband says this, like, is true. He doesn't just like say stuff. And he was like, I've seen you change. And he's like, I really feel like after like you've read this, like it's pointed so many things out for me. Like, wow, I knew this, but like, okay, like I'm a procrastinator, bad. And so I've really been trying to tackle that and work on it. But I love asking people what they are, because when it's just, it gives me a really amazing insight as to how to respond to their messages, maybe how to have a conversation a certain type of way. And you don't have to know them front and back. But it really, really has helped not just me, but how I talk to potential clients, how I talk to all my 7s out there. And I just really, really love it. Like I can't say enough good things about it. And then I'm trying to think, this is the last one I'll show. I've really been liking this book. There's No Plan B for Your A Game. And I feel like this just talks about like being the freaking best. And like, if you want to be the best, and like, this is what you need to do consistently. And like, this is how you need to show up. And I think these books, so like in terms of like, so business, and then I don't know what you would call this, communication, and then just personal. I think these are my 3 favorite right now. I literally can like never finish a book though. I don't know. I was like, I need to get better at that, but I will be finished. I'm almost done with the Road Back to You. It's so good.
Oh my God. I freaking love that book.
Mm-hmm.
I started reading it when I was in Florida at my mom's, and her dog, it looks like this currently because her dogs ate the cover off of it. But I haven't been reading it front to back. I've been flipping through like when I about that, because I'll meet someone and they'll tell me like they're like an 8, right? And so then I'll go and I'll like read up on an 8. Clearly exactly. I read 3 first because I already knew I was a 3 and I was interested, and then 7 was second. So guys, that is a great tip. Road Back to You, guys. If you're not familiar with Enneagram, it is huge, and it is a great book for leadership, as well as a great book to help you guys learn how to communicate with different people, right? Like the way I would communicate with a 2 is completely different than how I would communicate with an 8. So great book. Also, you can get it on Audible too. But does anyone else have any questions before we head off? It was such an amazing call. I'm so excited. No more questions? All right, perfect. Well, Sarah, thank you so much. Oh, you rocked it. Ladies, thank you so much for showing up tonight. You guys are making your business a priority, and we love that. And let's go freaking crush Teen Cup Month. Love you guys.